So in this one, we're going to be taking a loop at what is the for loop and how would we actually write the same programs using the for loop and how easy is it to do the same. Now, before we get into that, let's just revise the concept or the flow of a loop. The first thing that you do is always define the control variable, then you go to the looping condition, then the body of the loop, then you update the looping variable, the control variable, and then finally from step 4 you go to step 2. So it's 1 to 2, yeah, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and then 4 back to 2, and this is what creates the loop. Now, for the for loop, the syntax is pretty simple. You write the word for, then the loop control variable. So in this case, let's say it's I, and then you write in. So for and in, both of these are keywords. So for I, for the loop control variable in the range. So now range is a function. We'll talk about it later in the upcoming sections where we learn about lists. But as of now, you need to know that in the for loops, we use the range function to set the number of times a loop actually runs or to set the values for which the control variable exists, right? So for I in the range 0 to 5. So what this means, the range 0 to 5 means that the value of I goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or this basically is the equivalent of while I is less than 5. Alright, so for I in range and then the usual semicolons, you obviously leave your indentation space and then write the body of the loop. So the body of the loop is simply going to be print I, and then your update statement. Well, you don't really need an update statement because your range function right here handles that for you. So the range function basically goes from step number 1 to step number 2, gives I its value, to step number 3 right here, which is the body of your loop. And as soon as it goes back to step number 2, it also does step number 4, which is increments the value of I and then goes back inside. So for I in range 0 to 5, print I, and that is all the code you need for this output. Let's move on to PyCharm and understand this better by writing some code, writing the same problems that we did for the while loop, and well, also some additional problems that help us understand the for loop and the range function in depth. Well, that's it for this one. Move on to the next one, and well, I'll see you in the next lesson.